Khamzat Chimaev doesn't effing deserve the title fight against Sean Strickland. Doesn't deserve it. No way. Not when he just scraped by a welterweight who just came off the couch. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Relax. Don't come after me in the comment section. These are not my words. These are the words of the middleweight champion of the world, Sean Strickland. He was doing a podcast yesterday. He was sitting there with Don Fry, and this is what he had to say. He doesn't effing deserve it. But here we are. I'll give it to him. I'll go effing fight the man for 5 rounds. But no, he has not earned it. He doesn't fucking deserve it. And getting a decision off a welterweight, coming off a couch, is not effing earning it. He did go on to say, listen, the only real thing that I like about Khamzat is that he sells fights. For some reason, people love him. Some people hate him. But to me, he's a fucking paycheck. He sells a lot of fights and people will pay to watch. And that's a key thing, right? For Sean Strickland, he's now the champ. He gets the pay-per-view points. And Khamzat Chimaev, a lot of people are going to tune in to watch that fight. People love or hate Khamzat regardless. They pay to watch the man fight. I personally, I'm a big fan. I love what he does in the octagon. I love the post-fight speech on the microphone yesterday calling for peace. And people are going to tune in because he's a monster.
You know, I mean, I've taken him down, I've held him down, I've choked him, I've punched him. I mean, I've done all those things, so I don't see anything, you know, something special about him. Basically, he's a fighter's fighter. He's a good fighter. You know, if you look at him, he's like a, you know, an American cowboy, like from the movies. That's the kind of guy he is. But you know, we've done our work in the gym together. And if they offer him to me, if I can fight him for the belt, that's what I'll do. You know, I make the money, get the belt. I have nothing against him. I think that if you compare us on the skill levels wise, I'm levels above him. I'm in a whole different stratosphere from him. So, you know, he's not a threat to me. But you know, he's a good guy. He's a good fighter. And if I can, I'd fight anybody. I'd ready to fight anyone. So if there's a belt there, I'll fight him, no problem. Even Strickland.
Talking about what Sean said, the welterweight that came off the couch that Khamzat just beat. Let's remember that welterweight is Kamaru Usman, who defended the welterweight strap 5 times and used to be the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet. So it's not any old welterweight. Also, let's remember, Khamzat Chimaev used to fight at welterweight. Let's remember, Sean Strickland used to fight at welterweight and was beaten off that welterweight, Kamaru Usman, in a very dominant decision. So let's remember, though, that welterweight that we're talking about, Kamaru Usman, decisioned Sean Strickland very easily. And Khamzat just beat somebody that Sean couldn't beat. And they were all used to be welterweights, and now they're all at middleweight, okay? So, listen, I understand Sean's point. Kamaru did take it on short notice, okay? But still, Kamaru Usman is a legendary fighter. He will be in the Hall of Fame, and rightly so. So, Sean's stirring the pot, okay? He said he'll already fight him, which I really respect. It's not like he's ducking the guy. He's not trying to sidestep him. I mean, who's he going to sidestep him to? Dricus du Plessis? You know, realistically, there's tough fights on the horizon for Sean Strickland. And I do respect the fact, you know, that he's like, whatever, I'll fight the guy. I don't think he deserves it. And he's entitled to his opinion, of course. And I kind of get what he's saying, you know. It's not like Khamzat Chimaev went out there and beat Paulo Costa. And a lot of people are calling for that to be Khamzat's next fight. And if you go on Twitter, that's kind of the narrative that people are putting forward, that Khamzat needs to be a proper ranked middleweight before fighting for the belt. But it doesn't matter, okay? That were the circumstances. That was the specifications. That's what was on the line and what was at stake going into that fight. And Khamzat won. Now, it's worth pointing out that Khamzat did break his hand. As he was walking out of the octagon, he said to his coaches or teammates, I think I broke my hand in the first round.
I think I broke my hand, man.
Dana mentioned it at the post-fight press conference.
Hopefully his hand's not broken, and hopefully we can do this title fight.
They haven't had any kind of imaging done yet, so they can't confirm whether it's a break, a sprain, swollen, whatever. Problem is, 4-ounce gloves, it's easy to hurt your hands. Let's remember, UFC used to have no gloves, okay? But broken hands were far too common, so they bring in the 4-ounce gloves, which do offer protection, right? Not so much to the face, but to the hand. It helps. Limits cuts as well. But so the hand may be broken, right? But that we're yet to see about that. But who knows? A couple of months should be fine, as long as it's not something really bad. If it's just like one of the little metatarsals, then he should be all right. A couple of months, he should be good to go. And then, therefore, Sean Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, what are my thoughts on that fight? Listen, first of all, Khamzat's pace did slow down in round 2 and 3, right? I don't think he looked particularly tired. I mean, yeah, he didn't look as fresh as what he was in round 1, but he did allow Usman to come back into the fight. The wrestling, he had one shot that was timed perfectly. I think it was 2 or 3. Might have been 3. Took Usman down. It was a really powerful shot. Other than that, though, he was unsuccessful. Whereas in round 1, it was clear one-way traffic in terms of the wrestling and the ground and pound and the control. And he's saying that was probably because of the hand. He couldn't wrestle properly. Well, if you can't wrestle properly, then you can't punch properly. And as we saw, the pace definitely slowed from Khamzat, and Usman was able to insert himself back into the fight. Now, I said at the time on Twitter, I thought Usman won the last 2 rounds. That's not being insulting to Khamzat, it's calling it as I see it. Chael Sonnen's been out there. He's done a video on me, disagreeing with me. But I thought Khamzat won the first round 10-8. I thought Usman might have. When I watched it first time, I leaned towards Usman. I'd have to watch it again to give a proper, full, accurate breakdown. But I thought at the time that Usman won by a very narrow margin, 2 and 3. So that would result in a draw. But regardless, there was no robbery at play here. Khamzat won the fight, okay, and now he gets to fight Sean Strickland. So Strickland knows Khamzat very well. Strickland said, "You're better than everyone. Take it easy on everyone in the room."
Khamzat, understand you're better than everybody. So just don't hurt people.
And that doesn't mean that Sean necessarily said, "Listen, you're better than everyone in here." Right? That's just him being nice. That's him being a nice guy. I said, "Listen, dude, you're better than everyone in here. Just don't break my sparring partners." Because Sean Strickland wants to do that. He does like to spar, and he needs people. He needs fresh meat. So coming into this one, Sean has the cardio advantage, that's for sure. And the reason I go to the cardio advantage first is because that has been, again, the perceived weakness of Khamzat Chimaev. In the Gilbert Burns fight, a great first round, but then he slowed down. And Gilbert, in some people's mind, has an argument to being the winner. In the Kamaru Usman fight, same thing, regardless of the broken hand. If you look at it, the pace slowed. Okay, when we look at Khamzat Chimaev, I mean, the man's undefeated now, 13-0. When he stepped up, Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, they're the toughest fights that he's had. He scraped by those. I say scraped by, yeah, for want of a better term. He scraped by those fights. Kevin Holland dominated. Li Jinliang, Gerald Meerschaert, Reece McKee, John Phillips. Smoked all of them. But when he started swimming in deep waters, you could say that he scraped by. And I'm not saying that as an insult. It's just merely the facts. So I think Strickland, I don't think he's going to be too concerned. Listen, yeah, he might get taken down. Strickland has got very good jiu-jitsu, underrated ground game, and I'm sure he can stop some of the takedowns as well. But over a 5-round fight, that's why Sean's probably very confident, saying, listen, after watching that fight, if that was a 5-round fight, it would have been very different. If Usman versus Chimaev would have been a 5-round fight, that would have been very different as well. And let's remember, there's a lot of people online actually saying that Khamzat shouldn't even get the title fight. I disagree. Listen, that's what was at stake, and he should get that. But people are saying that Khamzat Chimaev needs to prove himself against a ranked middleweight. Somebody by the name of Paulo Costa. That's what people on Twitter are saying all over the internet. And I kind of get that, right? Usman wasn't a ranked middleweight. Paulo Costa is. That fight would have been sensational. And Paulo Costa, that might have been a different fight. But unfortunately, that wasn't the fact, okay? He pulled out. And Paulo Costa was having a fight in the crowd, okay? He was too busy fighting people in the crowd, which was absolutely hilarious. I do enjoy me some Paulo Costa. But what do you think of those comments? Strickland says Khamzat Chimaev didn't basically earn it and doesn't deserve it with a win over Kamaru Usman. I kind of get his point, but at the same time, this is the situation that we're in. And I do think Khamzat versus Sean Strickland will go down in 2 or 3 months.